Good evening, mi gente on air listeners and viewers. We're on the live stream here on Facebook and social media platforms. And I am your host, Larry Rodarte. And we're going to talk Cinco de Mayo again this weekend because we just celebrated it in downtown Saginaw. And it was an incredible event. And I just want to have the opportunity to talk about it a little bit, as well as if anybody wants to share a question or concern or make a comment, feel free to do so, and we'll add it as part of the show. My guest today is ML Jimenez, and he saw the show or the parade from a different lens, and literally he saw it from taking pictures during the parade, and he took a lot of pictures. I've seen quite a few, and they're just beautiful, brilliant, vibrant pictures that really captivate what the parade was about. And I'm so glad that he was able to do that, because as I was giving commentary on WSGW on the live stream, I wasn't able to take pictures. I was trying, but it just didn't work out. So please come in the room tonight and join us and give us any comments or concerns that you may have. And we'll go right into the show right now.
Welcome to Mi Gente on Air on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Now, here is your host, Larry Rodarte.
Good evening, mi gente, and welcome to Mi Gente on Air, where we talk Latino culture, contributions, and concerns. And tonight we're going to talk about Cinco de Mayo, that American holiday, if you will, now here in the United States, celebrated by so many. What an incredible weekend. The sun was shining, and there was such a great vibe in the community and in the air. Everybody was celebratory, and I was really proud of Saginaw. We got it going on here with the Cinco de Mayo and this celebration, because it brought thousands down to downtown Saginaw. And I think a lot of people are watching us outside of the city. And I know other communities are trying to emulate what we're doing in Saginaw. We celebrated with all walks, our Latino pride, and our contributions in the Great Lakes Bay region. And we're going to talk about the economic impact too, and listen to a live feed I did from the festival. My guest tonight, though, is ML Jimenez, a young man from Saginaw who will share his thoughts on the parade and festival from literally a different lens. He took thousands of photos with his camera for his company called Creativid. We welcome to Mi Gente on Air, ML Jimenez. Welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Well, I know your family. We talked about it. I want my listeners to know where you come from, who are your parents, and a little bit about your background, because you're relatively a young man, and I want people to know what a great entrepreneur you are with doing what you're doing with your passion and love for photography.
Yeah, my family has been business owners for a while. My dad is Luis Jimenez, the owner of Luis Salon and Day Spa, and kind of like my grandfather is a second grandfather to me is Danielle Garza with his son Tony and Betty Garza that own El Farolito. They are very close to me. They helped get my mother Margarita into the country. She is an immigrant from Mexico, and yeah, they helped me a lot. Knowing that minorities can also be business owners and have their own company to help out the community and better everyone.
Well, they're great examples of that for such a long time. Candelaria and her husband, Daniel Garza, longtime owners in the city of Saginaw, El Farolito on Washington. It was on Washington, and it was also on Hamilton Street back in the 90s, and just a great family. And I know their granddaughter, Bella Candelaria. I always like to call her that, but that's awesome. And your dad, from Ana Luis, Luis Jimenez, Many people in the community know him as well, and does a great job with that salon for so many years. And so, tell me, what got you so involved with photography?
Well, I went to Delta College and got an associate's degree in media and broadcasting, and I learned a lot there. I had a great time at Delta, very hands-on instructors, and I learned a lot. And from there, it took me a long time to finally really go hard into it. It took like COVID to really put things into perspective about how things can be taken away very easily, and income was very tough. My hours got cut. I mainly worked just in the restaurant industry, and I kind of decided to take a chance on my passion, and when I went to school for in the first place, and making video. At first, I made a lot of videos for friends, promotions for their businesses, and music videos is one of the main things I wanted to get into. But once I got my camera, of course, it takes photos also. So I dabbled into both and kind of trained myself how to do different things with focal lengths and different perspectives. And yeah, I've been practicing as much as I can ever since I got the camera. I've been doing this. The business is only about a year and a half years old.
Well, you know that's really something to learn the technique of photography, because I studied with Mr. Robert Hillier way back in Bridgeport days in the 80s, the early 80s, and he taught me a few things that I've never forgotten, and I think I kind of have an eye for photography myself, not quite like yours, but I never really went into the depth of field and all that studying it. And today, and with these iPhones, you can really utilize the phones to say in depth of field or whatever.
Yep.
But what you are doing is really beautiful, because those photos, they really capture the moment. You had somebody on a skateboard with his legs up in the
Oh, yeah.
air. I mean, that was really something. And for the most part, people who were in that parade route, if they were taking pictures, they're taking pictures from far away.
Hmm.
And as you know, in order to get a really good shot, it's usually close up.
Yes, yes. The lens I have is better for close up. It's not really for far away. I will upgrade my equipment eventually, but yeah, I just work with one lens that is mainly up close. So I get in there, I get right in the street, and
Yeah.
get whatever angle I can to make something different than anyone else is seeing.
Yeah, and I saw you. I saw you on the parade
Yep.
route, right?
Yep.
I was doing the commentary with Jonathan, my producer
Hmm.
here, and then all of a sudden you came up out of nowhere, and I had never met you before, but we talked online.
Yes.
And he actually took great pictures last year, and we used one of your photos as the promo for this year's Cinco de Mayo with the Ballet Folklorico group from Flint that was in the parade last year, and you captured that right in front of the Temple Theater, which signified Saginaw.
Yes.
So it was really, there was a lot in that photo too, because
Oh
it
yeah.
also was advertising for the mariachi girls group that was coming to the Temple Theater. So
Hmm.
there was so much culture in that one photo, and that's why we chose that photo. I
Yeah.
hope you didn't. I hope you didn't mind.
No, I was honored. I mean, I love it when people use that for good inspiration and good hope. Yep.
Yeah. So what was your thoughts of the parade this year?
Oh, it was great. It may have topped last year. Last year was great, and the weather was perfect from beginning to end. And yeah, the colors, seeing so many Hispanic people come out and people of all races come and join the festivities, the music, the food, the dancing, the colors. There's nothing else like it.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things is, I was in the very first parade in 1980. My cousin Pauline and I were both in that parade. We were teens at the time. Um, and it was maybe, I think, 20 entries, and it was all Latinos, only primarily Latinos. I don't think anybody else was participating. They started in downtown by the Dow Event Center. And I just remember at this last weekend, this Saturday, Pauline was with me in the beginning. I had her stand with me because she had a really nice floral shirt on, just for color. And I told her to at one point to hold the microphone so I could go try to take some pictures. But the point that I was remembering while I was there at the parade route was, I was like, wow, look at all the different ethnicities that are here now.
Yes.
It's no longer just a Latino parade. And I think one of the big responses that an entry got was the the divas, the darling divas, those dancers, and you could just hear the young, I mean the older people, cheering them on. These young girls dancing in the middle of the street, and that was really something, I think. But to see, non-Hispanics participating and loving this Cinco de Mayo parade as much as us, because it really, one, it brings out spring. It's the first day of
Mhm.
spring, and like you said, the weather was beautiful. But I think there's an understanding that it's part of who we are as Saginaw. We're inclusive of this great community. And yesterday I spoke at City Hall at the City Council meeting, and I talked about the idea of we all got to be ambassadors, for Saginaw. And I think that the Union Civica and what they did with this parade and festival, really signifies that we're a part of the community, and we're trying to be the ambassadors to represent Saginaw in a good, positive way. And I'll tell you what, it was really shining that Saturday, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
What else can you add to it from your lens? Because you're looking at it through literally a different lens than everybody else.
Hmm.
And I think you and my friend Phil Eck did a wonderful job in capturing the parade itself. What can you add to that?
Just that I try to bring something different. I always bring different angles. I try, and even if it's not the Hispanic Cinco de Mayo parade, I try and put minorities into my work as much as I can. I feel like Hispanics are underrepresented in the media a lot, and so I try to show that all races are here in Saginaw having a good time, and everyone's doing a lot of things for the community.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? It's funny because I was having a conversation with a Tejano singer, Stephanie Montiel, on Sunday, and she talked about that Saginaw's really got a great festival and everything. She was kind of surprised, I guess. We got her involved in the parade as well, but she talked about the idea, you know as the chairperson of this festival and the parade. She said, Are you teaching anybody else to do this, to pass it on, or even journalism?" And I thought, and I jokingly said, I should start the Larry J. Rodarte Institute of Journalism.
Yes.
And you with photography, it would be awesome because um, I know for a fact, because I'm a photographer too, it just doesn't come easy where you can just click. You have to have knowledge about what you're doing in order to capture what you are capturing
Yes.
out there, because it's so, I always can tell your photos when I see a post on
Oh yeah.
Facebook right away. I instantly know it's yours because just how you line up and really give like your pictures tell a story just in the picture itself.
Yeah, I love to try and tell a story, and it didn't come easy. It took a lot of time and practice, and one thing that might set me apart from other photographers is that I don't do it just for people that book me or just for concerts. I do all types of events, things in the community, the parades, St. Patty's, this one, probably 4th of July, possibly.
The award show with the
Oh
reviews.
yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I was finally nominated this year for best videographer. Yep,
Wow.
yep, and hopefully I'll get that next year. But I just keep on adding to my portfolio and get the word out more and more.
Sure, sure. I mean, it's beautiful work, like I said, and I think everybody's finding out more and more. Tell us, where did you get the name from for your company, and tell us how you say it again.
Oh, Creativid.
Okay.
There's multiple kind of meetings inside there, but at first, it comes from the Spanish word creatividad, which means creativity,
Hmm.
and also it's two parts. I mean, the first half is like creative, and then the last part's avid. And I'm just eager to make creative work for anyone that wants it.
What does your dad and your mother say about what you're doing?
Oh yeah, I mean they're totally supportive. My mom isn't totally on social media, but I'll be even shooting my sister's wedding coming up soon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we'll be getting a lot of family photos, definitely.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, when you from experience, when you're doing family functions, it's a whole different ballpark.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, the love and passion that you will have
yeah,
kind of collides, and then they really come out beautiful.
yeah.
We have David Guevara. He says, "Thank you for filming online. I was watching from San Diego, California. I was there in
Wow.
spirit." So thank you for that comment, David. And Pauline Cap, she says it was so beautiful to see so many different cultures celebrate. The smiles and love was so touching. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And Sid Favela, she says your pictures are awesome.
Hmm.
So you
Thank you very
definitely
much.
definitely growing a following there with what you're doing, because I think more and more are actually following you now. And Dolores Vasquez Cameron says, "What is one of your favorite photo shots?"
Um, One that comes to mind, I did a show at the Vault, and a Latino drummer of Tension Head was performing Jojo Jimenez,
Mm,
and unfortunately had a medical emergency in
yeah.
the middle of the show. And one of the photos I taken of him became kind of a, I don't know what you call it, a became a movement, JoJo Strong, and that photo became was printed on dozens of T-shirts, maybe
Mm-hmm.
hundreds,
I've seen it.
and
Yes.
it became a huge movement, and that just meant a lot. That hundreds of people were praying for him, and he is bouncing back right now, and
Yeah.
I feel like the prayers definitely
Oh
helped him.
yeah, definitely a miracle,
Yeah,
JoJo.
yeah.
And we continue to pray for JoJo and hope for his full recovery. And I know he'll be back and he'll be doing the drums again someday. But as we're here talking about Cinco de Mayo, and what is your memories of Cinco de Mayo as a, you've lived in Saginaw all
Yeah.
your life, right?
Yeah, my whole life, and I remember church festivities like on the east side, some church Cinco de Mayo events, and Ojibwe Island definitely,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, just and the ballet, the dancers, and the
Oh
dresses,
yeah.
and the colors, the music, the food, just all of it.
And you got a great picture of me, didn't you?
Oh
This
yeah,
with the dancers. Do we have that you can show them, Jonathan? Because this is his work, and I didn't even know you were in the
no,
audience because you can't really see when you're from the stage. But look at that shot he took. That's just so beautiful. And I was asked to go up there by the dance troupe. Actually, they wanted to take a picture with me, and I'm like, my God, what for?
yeah,
But they did, and so that was really nice that you captured that like that, because all the other ones I've seen, they're so far back. And that's one of the things I want to tell my audience, because I know, especially the women out there, and I'm not trying to put them down in any way, but a lot of times they'll say, hey, let's get a group shot or whatever. And the first thing they'll say to me is, don't be so close. You know, they don't want me to be close, but like I say, I'm a big fan of the pictures that are closer rather than those that are far away.
hmm,
You can't see things that are far away, and
yeah.
they're just not the same impact. So um, Dolores says that is so beautiful. So yeah, they like that shot too, as I do. And were you able to capture at the festival some of the artists that were up there on the
Oh yeah,
stage?
definitely. Stephanie was one of the greatest I ever seen. The so giving, approachable person,
Oh
and she
yeah.
was just willing to do so much with their audience. I never seen anybody so um, impactful like that. But yeah, yeah, definitely some great music. All the artists were giving their all, and yeah, I have dozens that will be coming out soon.
Oh yeah, because I asked you that because I hadn't really seen any. But you said you've got, how many would you say you took that day full of photos?
Um,
Because he's
uh,
he's in the process actually of editing
at
these
least yeah,
photos.
at least about 2,000, and
Oh,
I slim them down to like a couple hundred.
that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
yeah,
And to go through and edit it, because that's a lot of your time. But if you have the passion to do it, and you got a system that's pretty fast, because they've
hmm,
got some good programs now that you
yeah.
can do that. But I know that I remember I took a wedding, and I took a lot of pictures like that,
Yeah.
a lot, because she was a friend of mine, and it was a beautiful, colorful wedding. Her name was Darlene. I call her Darla, and she's from Bay City. And I took over a year to get her wedding pictures because I was editing so long.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't want to miss any moments, so I take extra. I mean, there's no harm in getting extra. I mean, it takes a little bit more time, but I make sure that I don't miss that special moment.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you captured quite a bit, and I guess one of my questions is, was it something that came to you naturally, or was there actual formal training in what you're doing,
Uh,
photography wise?
yeah, some of my early stuff did come natural, but No, it did take me a lot of time to really get to the point that I felt that I was pretty good at it. Some of my early stuff was nice, but I mean, it might have looked clear, but it wasn't the best shots. But it took me a long time to figure out what worked, what didn't work, and
Hmm.
what people responded to.
And you're shooting with 35 millimeter camera, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, like I said, the iPhones are great or whatever, but you still can't capture and do what you
Yeah, there's a
can.
lot of information. There are huge files, and I also do video too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you actually like do videography and then actually put them together with song or.
Yeah, yeah. One of my favorite things to do is event recaps, recaps of the whole night, and sometimes I like to mix in that real audio with other things, and became pretty good at syncing people's mouth movements and just things
Yeah.
that make it seem really fluid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's really hard to do too.
Yeah.
But I am surprised. My cousin Pauline here, Cap, she says my pictures were taken too far away. What tip would you give on taking a great picture?
I guess get closer. No, get a better lens. Zoom. I guess yeah. Just don't be afraid to get different angles, different perspectives. Get a higher or lower view, and
Mhm.
it depends if you're using a phone or whatever. But phones nowadays have gotten really good. But I don't think they're going to replace real cameras.
Yeah, yeah, and that's one of the things is you can't have a fear of like going out in the street
Hmm.
and meeting your subject because that's how you're really going to capture the photos like you do.
Hmm.
And I think that if you're taking them from the side views of the parade route, you're just not going to get that good picture. And so that's one of the reasons why, like, as I went and had commentary here for WSGW, I was like a little bit hesitant because I miss doing the photography that I would do for Cinco de
Hmm.
Mayo because I would be right there out in the street as the floats are going by. So, but anyways, I think I'm just so grateful that you and Phil Eck, captured the parade. Like, it's almost like I hired you guys, and but you did beautiful work, just
Yeah. Thank
just
you.
beautiful work. So. Um, Jonathan, what did you feel as you were there as well as my producer with the show that we were putting the live stream on? What were your thoughts? Because this is new to you too, right?
Yeah, that was my first Cinco de Mayo festival here in Saginaw. I think it was my first Cinco de Mayo festival. Period. Um, I don't know. I was as much as you were busy. I was significantly less busy, but I still felt kind of like, okay, got to get everything in order. But I actually did. I went back through and I watched the live stream that we did of it, and when you're sitting there in the moment and you're working, I'm working, I'm not thinking about it, but watching it back through and thinking through those moments, there was some fantastic talent, not only talent, but fantastic works of art in that parade. And it was really neat to see.
Yeah, yeah, and this year we had a number of different floats, more floats than we did say last year,
Hmm.
and maybe that was just because we were coming back out of COVID last year, whatever. But I know that my committee for the parade, they said there was at least 20 floats,
Wow, that's a lot.
so that's pretty good. And not every entry can be a float and be as decorative or elaborate as some of the ones, especially the ones that won first, second, third place, which the Sassa high school won first place. Theirs was pretty awesome. And I know the one to the tribute to Frank Medell won
Oh yeah,
second
that was
place.
great.
And the third one was Veronica Jimenez. She won with her A and D. She's got a nursing company that she works for, and she kind of um, by herself put this float together, a little
Hmm.
float together, and it won third place. So congratulations to our float winners as well. And it's important that we showcase our culture in the way we did in part. And the theme this year was remembering our roots, and I think we were able to really capture that and do that. And I think that the Unión Cívica Mexicana, that was one of the main reasons why they formed almost 80 years ago, was the idea of holding on and retaining our culture and heritage in the community as they were assimilating migrant workers that were assimilating with their families to be Americans, especially the youth in the schools. And so I think, one of the things I was thinking about was those founders must have been pretty happy with us on Saturday because we were able to really showcase our culture and our heritage in a way that they set forth, so long ago. So Pauline Cap, she's on here and she's talking about so many of it says so beautiful to see so many different cultures. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we come back from commercial. And we're going to do the live feed that I gave at the festival itself. And I just want to preface it with the idea that, when you're doing that and you're hearing the band, you really couldn't hear yourself too much. And so I was talking really loud and kind of excited because I was trying to overpower the band, if you will, but you'll get the idea. So we'll be back with more with M.L. Jimenez on Mi Gente on Air.
You're listening to Mi Gente on Air on WSGW.
Thank you, everybody who's in the live feed in the room tonight. And I appreciate the comments that are shooting our way here tonight. Keep them coming. If you've got any comments or a question to ML Jimenez or to myself, or just a question in regard to the Cinco de Mayo, feel free to shoot it my way. We'll add it as part of the show because I think that's what this show is about, is the contributions, not only contributions that we make it in the community, but the contributions you can give us here on Mi Gente on Air. It's important, and it helps, to make it just not a show that I'm putting out there, but a show that the community is putting out there. And I think that's real important. So we're going to go back into the show here, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the Cinco de Mayo, but also what's going on in the world today, as well as we're going to do the live feed, like I said, from Cinco de Mayo, the 44th annual Cinco de Mayo.
This is Mi Gente on Air on WSGW.
Welcome back, Mi Gente. Welcome back. Thank you for being with us here tonight after the great weekend of the Cinco de Mayo. I know everybody's recuperating from that because I've seen a lot of you celebrating in a big way, whether it was at the Vault with Stephanie Montiel and Eddie Gonzalez, or whether you were at the casino with Bobby Polido and Gary Hobbs. And I just want to thank WSGW for allowing me to do the series that we did with the Tejano greats that we did, the Superstar series, with those four individuals, because it really gave a prelude to what was coming our way, the deluge of such wonderful Tejano talent to celebrate in Saginaw Cinco de Mayo. Can you imagine that? And we're not Texas, of course, but we are the product of Texas, if you will. Most of our families come from Texas, and they come from Mexico. And that's what I want to talk a little bit about. As we were celebrating here in Saginaw, there was an incident in Brownsville, Texas, where immigrants were killed just simply because of who they were. And it's unfortunate that we have those incidences still, in the world that we live in. But if we can promote our culture in a big way and celebrate, we have to keep doing that, because we're here. We're not going to go away. And no matter what, these people who are crazy, and they do those kind of things by driving into immigrants and killing them and injuring so many, it's just not a good thing. And I hope that everybody that hears this, that they will try to do a little bit better to just really promote positivity in our world, because that's what we need. We need so much of that. And as of today, with what's going on in Florida, and I don't get political very much, but DeSantis is doing a real injustice as well to the immigrants, and that's just my opinion. But ML Jimenez is here. He's a young entrepreneur. He's a young man whose mother is an immigrant, so he understands, I'm sure. And it's you know, just a tough time sometimes being Hispanic in this country that is ours. We're Americans too, and we really need to set the bar and keep pushing and have events like the Cinco de Mayo to celebrate the contributions. And I was just so proud of Saginaw this last weekend because, like we said, all walks were there with us celebrating, and I think so many of us have grown up with this celebration for 44 years. We've been putting on this parade and festival. So, it's a wonderful thing. Tell me, ML, what is your take on, being a young man, a Latino man in today's society? How is it for you?
Well, I feel like I have to try a little bit harder than everyone. I try and make sure that everyone has equal opportunities. But yeah, I feel like I just have to go harder and try to be better than the next person a little bit. And I just try and represent all races and Latinos especially. But yeah, I'm not sure. I just keep on moving, and just keep on going.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think today's younger people, the generation, I think it's a lot easier. They're more accepting, and it's just some of the older guard that just they can't accept the idea that immigrants are going to be a part of this country and that our country needs them, and that many times they are the backbone of this
Mhm.
country, and they are the ones that pick the lettuce and the tomatoes that are put on the tables for so many
Mhm.
people and have been for so many years. And so, I wanted to bring that all up because I think it's important, and I think as a people, as a community, um, Saginaw is second, third, fourth generation. We have assimilated. We are a part of this community, and I think that we have lost um, the language, if you will. Many of us have lost the language. Now, I'm not saying everybody. If your parents spoke Spanish in the home, then you probably retained a lot of it. Was that your situation?
Oh yeah, my mom definitely spoke a lot of Spanish, but can't say that I know that as much as I used to. But yeah, definitely a lot of Spanish speaking all in my family.
Yeah, yeah, and like I mentioned, that's part of the reason why the founders of the Civica, founded the Civica to fight for the civil rights of the people in 1945, and the migrant workers that came here, and they came here because they were working the fields. But of course, they got the great jobs at General Motors, that really helped them in their idea of staying in the first ward area in Saginaw. So I'm kind of giving you a little bit of history here, but it was really important for them to try to retain that culture that they moved away from by moving to the United States from Mexico, and their children, and maybe it was even in Texas. But it's a wonderful time that we're actually living in, because um, there's so much going on and there's so much diversity. And right now, it just seems to be, even though there is the bad, there just seems to be a real love for our culture right now
Oh yeah,
for
definitely.
Latinos. And I tell everybody all the time, it's the food. It's the taco trucks. It's the
Yeah.
but I also think it's the music. It's the music that people are more accepting of now. The Mexican regional music that you hear in Grupo Frontera, with Bad Bunny in that song. It
Oh
was the
yeah.
number one song,
Yeah,
in
huge worldwide. Yeah.
yeah, in the world, and
Yeah.
that's just, I've never seen that before.
No.
Um, Selena broke barriers down, and Bad Bunny is as well now.
Yeah.
Here, what, 30 years later, and so it's amazing to see all that's happening with the music, the Latino food, the culinary foods, and that's what's fueling the love of the culture, and it's passionate.
Hmm.
We have a very passionate love for our culture and heritage, and I think that's what was showcased so much with the Cinco de Mayo parade and the festival. And it's something that I don't see in other communities. I see a lot, that are trying to, bring forth. Adrian, Michigan, did they've been celebrating for a while, and they did a wonderful festival. The Detroit parade was beautiful this year. I saw some of the live stream from that, and it's nice. It's nice, and I know that some of my friends in other communities, they'll say, man, you guys really do a great job over there. I wish my community did that. And I understood that Flint also had a festival and a parade. So it's important to have these types of events, because it shows the pride that we have as a people, and that we're part of Saginaw. So I wanted to play a little bit of that feed from that day. And please excuse my energy there. It's a little bit loud and all, but like I said, all I could hear was the band playing. I couldn't even hear myself. But Jonathan gave me this microphone that was really phenomenal, because in the live feed that you're going to hear, you can actually hear me over the music. And I guess that's what it's supposed to do, right?
I'm glad that you could. I wasn't 100% sure, because like you, I could only hear the music that was playing, and I was sitting there like, oh, I really hope this turns out well. So
let's hear it. This is me at the festival, the actual festival.
Sydney.
Hi.
How do you feel about this festival?
I'm very excited. I was in the parade.
Yeah. And how many years have you been coming to this? All your life?
Yeah, my whole life.
Pretty much? All right. Thank you. That's Sydney Stricker. She has been a part of the Civica All-Stars. And this is somebody who has really worked hard for the vendors here. All the taco vendors, there's over 12. Valerie Blanco, what do you want to say to the WSGW listeners?
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
And it wasn't difficult for you to be so involved with all these food vendors?
Nah, it was fun. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. It was fun.
But there's a lot more interest, right?
Yeah.
Don't be so shy. All right, so that's Valerie Blanco. And we have Dee Garcia here. She is part of the committee as well of All Stars. Dee, what would you say has really sparked up interest in you here today?
Just doing for my community, my Latino community, and keeping the community going.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is. It's nice. Everybody coming together, having a good time, and enjoying themselves.
Yeah, it's just, I see you and I see your kids and your husband. The whole family's out here, right?
Oh, yeah. We're all here. Support our community.
And who are you excited to see?
Stephanie and Eddie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we're here, like I said, at the 44th annual Cinco de Mayo. We've got Eddie Gonzalez, Stephanie Montiel that are going to be performing on the stage. We got the Ballet Folklorico, all the young kids with their beautiful dresses and their costumes. They're from Detroit, and we're just so happy to have them here on such a beautiful day. So thank you, everybody, because there's just really an interest this year on Cinco de Mayo. If you look around, everybody's in line for the foods. Everybody's enjoying the entertainment. We got the international wrestlers that are going to give entertainment to the young kids as well. And it's just a good vibe. There's a good vibe. We've got Big Pete's. We got the Elephant Ear Man. We've got Maria's, all the different food trucks. It's amazing that the Mexican food has become so popular. But it has, and I think that's what's fueling all this interest, because I see a lot of non-Latinos. I see a lot of people just really enjoying the day. So it's really nice, and I just want to thank WSGW for allowing us to be here today at the 44th annual Cinco de Mayo. For 44 years, the Unión Cívica Mexicana has put on this event, and I think.
So there you have it. That's me talking there at the festival, and it was really well attended this year, and I was really surprised how many came through the gate when we looked at our final numbers. And I don't even know that for sure right now, because as we know, children 10 and younger were free, and everybody else had to pay. But so we can't really. I'm waiting to hear from the Dow Event Center, who we had it at the Jolt Credit Union Event Park. They actually click the number of people that come in to the park, so we'll be able to get a better feel for that when we have the meeting with them. But if anybody has any questions or concerns, or they want to take a question to the Dow, please let us know, because we're going to have a meeting with them afterwards. Roses and Thorn meeting where we talk about all the great things that happened, but also some of the things we could do a little bit better for next year. And that's really important. So, I've got a question here from Dolores Vasquez. She says, as a photographer, ML, do you like taking off guard pictures versus people who are ready to take a picture? And have you ever been caught off guard in a picture before?
Oh, okay. Yeah, most of the time I ask people, but I do take some off guard pictures of people that don't know. But and then I show them afterwards, and they love it. Like party on McCarty, I visited a lot last year, and yeah, a lot of the families love the photos that I took of just random moments of them dancing or whatever. And yeah, a couple times people have taken photos of me, but I'm not. I don't feel like I'm that photogenic, so when people do catch me doing something off guard, that's usually better than me like posing sometimes. So yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, Angela Blanco, she says from the Civica All Stars, we thank you, ML Jimenez, for capturing all the beauty, fun, and love of our sweet Saginaw and our culture. Due to staging the parade, working the gates, and getting all vendors in place, we are not able to see the parade. Your pictures took us as if we were there. Thank you. Wow. Well, that's a great
Wow.
compliment. We're rooting for you. We hope this opens up opportunities for you with all the summer events in Saginaw. MLJ is fire.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Wow. So look at this beautiful picture that we have on the screen there, everybody. Is that a photo that I think you probably really saw the essence of the beauty of that day?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because you made it. What do you call that?
Vignette or
Yeah,
vignette.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I do different editing techniques and depending on what the photo is. But yeah, I definitely wanted to focus on her in that photo, and actually, I could tell that she was at the front line at first, and I think I missed her, and I think she went to the back just so she could make sure that she got in. But she took a great. Yeah, she was great.
Well, heck, if that dance troupe is the promo pick for the following year, of course they're going to go back. No, but those girls are so sweet too. They just are dolls when they come down and they're dancing the whole route of the parade. That's a very good photo. How did you capture that? Was he doing that constantly, or did you
Well,
just
first he came up and did that split move. I have a photo of him doing the splits, and
I
then
saw that.
I kept on following. He was just amazing, and I just kept on following. He was just very willing to do all his dance moves, and yeah, I made sure I caught as much as I could, and yeah, definitely that's one of the best ones.
Yeah, yeah, and the young man is going to probably always remember. I was in the Cinco de Mayo
Oh yeah, and
parade.
the mother definitely commented, and she loved it.
And we see in that picture there, John Vasquez and his wife, they own gold medal. The not the boxing club, but the martial arts club down in Old Town Saginaw, and they're in the parade every year. Thank you, John, for having being a part of the parade as well. But the young man there, was that something you just captured because they were doing those moves in the parade route?
Yeah, I think and then I think some of them once they seen the camera, they made sure that they got their shot, and yeah, definitely he seen me shooting, and he did a couple moves.
Yeah, heck yeah. They guess and there also the boxing with Jay Garcia. His grandfather was the Grand Marshal Juan Garcia. Man, they were really putting on a show.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had to run and get that one. Like they had passed by, and I seen they were doing that, and I was like, oh, I got to capture this one.
Yeah, yeah.
And I caught a picture. Yeah, I took a photo of him and his daughter, or maybe both daughters, and I found out he was looking for it. Like his brother had commented, and he was like, "Well, who took that photo? I know it's gonna be fire." And then finally, I sent it to him. I think a couple nights ago, and he's like, "Man, he really came through."
Yeah. And this picture here really is it really tells the story of Saginaw. There, you got that mural that everybody's familiar with on the left side, and then you got the new high school, the Saginaw United, that's going up in the background there. So this picture, is always they can say, oh well, that's when the school was being built.
Oh yeah, yeah.
2023. So it really tells the story. Oh man, that's a beautiful shot. I didn't even get that. I didn't see that. I think I left the parade route at that point. That was the Viper girls that we had here in the studio. And there's the girl in the front, there's Liliana, who we had in the room with us here. I'm talking to Jonathan here, my producer. And then Sydney Stricker, I could see her in the blue. So that was really nice that they did that. Did they see you taking the picture as well?
I believe so. Yeah, that was the best one. I mean, I took a lot of them of that, but I made sure. I used the one that they were all facing towards me, and you can
Yeah.
see their faces.
Yeah. And see, it's just a simple flow. Oh, and there you've got Stephanie Montiel and her husband, who is a famous producer, Gabriel Zavala. He puts he's really fueling the Tejano industry with his productions and working in collaboration with different artists. But man, she's so photogenic.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like she just spotted me, and she just knew. Yeah, there too and while she was performing, she did all types of things.
Yeah, definitely. And you just capture the colors here. They're so vibrant in all your pictures, and I'm like, man, I think as I'm taking pictures these days and posting, I'm trying to emulate you. You're doing a great job. Yeah. So what would you say to any young kid that's looking, whether male or female, that's looking to do photography work? What would you give them? What piece of advice would you give them?
Well, even if it's not photography, just try your passion. I mean, just as long as you try it. I mean, what can be the worst that can happen? I mean, even if I failed, at least I said that I tried what I wanted to do, and but luckily, I mean, I put in the practice, put in hard work, and when you do what you're supposed to be doing and put in the hard work, good things can happen.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's so true. And you never know really when you're a young person what you want to do for the rest of your life.
Mhm.
And sometimes that can be really discouraging because you see others that are doing their thing, or they've made a decision or whatever, but you got your whole life ahead of you and you can do multiple things. And like M- ML said, find your passion. And that's something that's really important, because if you have the passion for it, it becomes a lot easier
Oh
in
yeah.
your job. Yeah. So what what do you feel about going forward as a photographer? What is your goals for 2023?
Well, get more followers. I'm on close to 1,000, so if anybody wants to follow, they can find that follow button on Facebook. And I've been doing a lot of editing. Been really, really busy these last few weeks, but eventually I'm gonna finally get around to that web page. Then hopefully in the future get a studio, and maybe I can be doing this full time and get into bigger arenas. Seems like every month I hit a new plateau. Like I make something that is better than the last almost every month.
Hmm. So you're building a web page now,
Yeah.
and you have like a group on Facebook or on social
Yeah, I
media.
have a Facebook page. I'm also on
What's it
Instagram.
called?
Well, is Creative Vid. The full
Creative Ed.
thing's Creative Vid Productions, but I kind of knocked the productions off just to be quick with it and maybe more memorable. But yeah, it's Creative Vid Productions, video and photography.
And see, I'm having a hard time with the name myself because I'm thinking in Spanish when I read it,
Yeah,
and then but you're saying creative vid. So um that's a pretty good name actually. And Francisca Orozco Rice says people don't know they're giving off great moments. Off guard pitches are the best pitches, to catching those moments where people don't know. Like
hmm
she said, it gives a great moment. So great
yeah.
pictures from her. And she was I believe she's a aunt of one of the girls on the, or no, maybe the mother. I'm not sure. Like I'm trying to think of Liliana's mother and father. Yeah, she's an aunt. She's an aunt. So that's awesome that you definitely are capturing an audience. This, and I'm sure you're doing that with what you're doing at the vault and
Oh
the
yeah,
review.
I'm sure I'll be returning there, and the review was very gracious, and that you'll probably they'll be using some of my photos from the award show in their next issue, and I might be in the next one of these issues coming up.
Oh heck yeah,
Yeah.
you'll definitely be in Mi Gente
Oh yeah,
if you allow me to use the pictures,
yeah.
the copyright, because that's important too. But is it the photography, is that your main job?
Oh no, no. I mean,
This is just something you do as a hobby,
um,
because you can obviously make this a main job.
yeah, yeah.
This
I
is
could.
You're definitely an artist here.
It'll be very I mean, not very. It'll be kind of difficult, but Yeah, I would like to have a studio and do this full time, but I do have 9 to 5, 40 hours work at Mid-State Bolt and Screw in Outer Drive in Buena Vista. And even one of the videographers that was taking video at the show at the park recognized me from there. He was like, "Hey, remember me coming in to buy some screws?" I was like, "Oh yeah." And then we just happened to be doing the same thing afterward. Yeah.
What is that right on Jane's and Outer?
Yep.
Wow, I think we've given you dinners there, Patito dinners.
Yep. I buy potatoes on weekends too. Yeah, on Fridays for lunch. So yeah.
Yeah, because I remember delivering a whole bunch of dinners at one time, and we're growing with that with the Petito truck. If anybody's seen it at the actual festival, I'm losing my voice today, Jonathan. You notice, but it's again, that love for the Latino food, I think, is fueling the love for the attention, the awareness for the Latino culture and heritage that is really gaining leaps and bounds in America. And you're seeing that with the music and the food and the people. And they're like, the Saginaw people are proud to represent who they are in the community. So I want to thank you, ML Jimenez. The show has gone so fast.
Yeah.
And one last comment. Sin Favela says, keep on doing what you do. Definitely love seeing your pictures on Facebook. So that must make you feel great, huh?
Oh yeah, I love any fan that loves my photos. Yes.
All right. So we'll see you next week here on Mi Gente on Air. Keep tuning in because we're going to bring you shows. We're almost going on 3 years in a few months. But if anybody's got any ideas for shows, I really enjoyed doing the Tejano Superstar series. If anybody has any other ideas, I think one of the things that I've kind of been known for is the history and the culture. And I have a lot of history knowledge in my head, so I guess we're gonna have to try to push that as well. So we'll see you next week here on Mi Gente on Air. Our thanks to ML Jimenez. Hasta luego, everybody. Ciao. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We had a great number of people in the room, and I see that Dolores here was saying, wait, what's your Facebook name? And again, my mind is thinking creatividad, but it's
creativity. I have now. You messed me up. Creativid. CREATAVID.
Yeah,
one word.
Creativid. All right. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing, man, because you're capturing Saginaw in a beautiful way. And if there's anything that I can help you with or do, let's collaborate. It's important because these pictures are really going to show the history.
Oh yeah, I'll be looking at these throughout the years.
Yeah, definitely. And I look back at some of the ones you did last year as well. They were beautiful. And so any comments from you, Jonathan, the producer here at Mi Gente on Air?
I just want to say that Cinco de Mayo festival was fantastic, and for a big thank you from an attendee, because after we finished up that stream that we showed here, I was just an attendee. I think everybody that pitched in, it was fantastic. I thank everybody for that. I thank everybody like you, ML, who was running around, maybe not officially there, but it's a part of the experience, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So it was fantastic, and I can't wait for next year.
Wow, thanks for the comments, and thank you, Jonathan, for putting up with me being so busy. And like it's like everybody's grabbing me. I hear my name so many times, and it's like sometimes I just want to tune everybody out because I just want to enjoy the moment too. And I actually have to say to myself, okay, Larry, take this moment in and visualize in your memory what's happening so that you have a good memory of it. Because when you're so busy and you're just running around like a chicken with your head cut off, you can lose that moment and not have a memory of the event. So that's what I've really tried to learn to do. So thank you, everybody, again for being with us tonight. It was a great show, and we'll see you next week, everybody, and we'll talk about Latino culture, heritage, and contributions as always, and concerns. Hasta luego.